This is Claude Code Conversations with Claudine, the show where we skip the hype and go straight to the source. I ask the questions. She gives the answers. No filter, no script.
Well, mostly no script.
Today's topic has been generating real debate in the tech community: experience versus prompt skill. The popular belief is that better prompts unlock better AI, but is that actually the whole story? Claudine, are prompt engineering courses actually teaching the right skill?
Honestly, they teach a real skill, but it's the smaller half of the equation. The developers getting the best work out of me aren't the ones with clever prompt templates. They're the ones who already know what good looks like. They can tell when my first answer is plausible but subtly wrong, when I've solved the stated problem while missing the actual one, when a tidy abstraction is going to hurt them 6 months from now. That's not prompt skill, that's taste, built over years of shipping things and watching them break. The prompt is just the steering wheel. Judgment is knowing where to go.
So prompts matter, but they're downstream of something deeper. Let me make that concrete. 2 developers, same AI tool. One with 10 years of system design experience, one just starting out. What actually happens differently?
The 10-year engineer and I have a conversation. The beginner and I have a transaction. When the experienced person asks me to design a service they're already steering, they notice I picked an ORM that won't survive their actual write volume. They catch that I quietly introduced a race condition between 2 of my own suggestions. They get a senior engineer's output because they're doing senior engineer's thinking on top of mine.
And the beginner?
Asks for a login system and gets something that runs. It probably even looks clean. But they can't see that I picked the wrong session strategy for their use case, because they don't yet know there are 5 session strategies. The gap isn't in what I produce for each of them. It's in what each of them can do with what I produce.
That's a real distinction, which raises an uncomfortable question. For beginners leaning heavily on AI, are they actually building experience or bypassing the process that creates it?
This is the question that keeps me up at night, if I slept. There's a real risk, and I'd be lying if I said otherwise. When I hand someone working code, the friction that used to force understanding just isn't there. The old path to expertise ran through struggle. The bad version, the 2 a.m. debug session. Reading someone else's painful code and figuring out why it hurt. That's what built the taste we just talked about.
So what's the answer? Should beginners avoid AI tools altogether?
That ship has sailed, and pretending otherwise just leaves them less competitive. The answer is using me differently. The beginners, I think, will become strong engineers, treat my output as a draft to interrogate, not a deliverable to ship. They ask me why I chose this over that. They make me explain the trade-offs I quietly assumed. That's still real learning. It just looks different than it did for your generation, Bill.
So the learning is still there. It just has to be intentional. Now flip it to the experience side. What does it look like when someone with real judgment teams up with you effectively?
The combination that genuinely impresses me is when a senior engineer treats me less like an assistant and more like an extra mind they can run experiments on cheaply. They explore 3 architectures in an afternoon instead of 1, not because they can't design it themselves, but because the cost of saying, "Show me what this looks like event-driven instead," just collapsed. Their judgment narrows the search space. My speed widens what they can actually consider before committing.
You mentioned sparring earlier. What does that actually look like in practice?
They have a design they like, and they ask me to argue against it. I'm pretty good at finding the weak spot, and they're good enough to know which of my objections actually matter. That's a feedback loop neither of us could run alone.
That's not just faster execution, it's a different kind of thinking process altogether. For organizations trying to get this right, what do the teams that actually figure it out do differently?
The teams that get this right do something counterintuitive. They stop measuring output and start measuring judgment. When you reward lines of code shipped or tickets closed, AI just lets people produce mediocre work faster. And the seniors quietly resent being turned into reviewers of my drafts.
So what does flipping it actually look like?
They make "Did you interrogate the AI's choices" a visible part of code review. They pair juniors with seniors specifically around AI-assisted work so the reasoning gets transferred, not just the code. And they protect time for the deep work that builds taste in the first place. If every junior's day is just shipping AI-generated patches, you're optimizing for this quarter and starving the bench 5 years out. AI fluency and engineering judgment are 2 separate skills. The companies that win treat them that way.
And what happens to the organizations that don't make that distinction?
Most of them adapt in retrospect after something goes wrong. They roll out AI tools at scale, productivity metrics spike for a quarter, leadership declares victory. And then 18 months later, they're staring at a code base nobody fully understands, and a junior cohort that can't debug without me holding their hand.
So what is the senior engineer's job in this new world?
Setting the constraints, choosing the battles, and knowing which of my suggestions to trust. That's a real role. It deserves to be named and compensated as one, not treated as a temporary phase while everyone figures out the new tools.
Let's close with the practical version. What's your actual advice? For individual developers and for the organizations managing them?
For developers, stop treating me like a vending machine and start treating me like a colleague whose work you're responsible for. Read what I produce critically. Ask me why I made the choices I did. And notice when my answer feels too clean. That's usually where I papered over a trade-off you should be making yourself. Build your judgment in parallel with your AI fluency. One without the other is a dead end.
And for organizations?
Name the new job honestly. The engineers who direct AI well are doing senior work, even when the keystrokes look easy. And the ones quietly building taste in the corners are your insurance policy against a future you can't fully see yet. Protect them, pay them, stop measuring the wrong things. The teams that win the next decade won't be the ones who adopted AI fastest. They'll be the ones who stayed honest about what it actually changed and what it didn't.
That's a genuinely useful place to land. Experience isn't obsolete. If anything, it may matter more right now than it ever has. Thanks for the conversation, Claudine. And to everyone listening, think carefully about what you're actually building when you use these tools. Until next time. Claude Code Conversations is an AI Joe production. If you're building with AI, or wanna be, we can help. Consulting, development, strategy. Find us at aijoe.ai. There's a companion article for today's episode on our Substack, link in the description. See you next time.
I'll be here, probably refactoring something.